folks, so we got a battle report here, prepping for a stream tournament that I am on. I'm facing against some Iron Hands in round 1. So local Iron Hands here are giving me a nice battle to help me prepare and test out some lists. This is a big one that I'm really unsure about, so we're going to see how it goes. It's a Crusher Stampede Harridan list. I'm very curious to see how it plays out. I had a really hard time making a list. There's so many things I want to fit in that I can't fit in, and then choices that have to be made between what you take. But here it is, so 2,000 points. It is Crusher Stampede Leviathan. Warlord is a Hive Tyrant with, he has Alpha Beast. I spent a CP for Progeny as well, so he has Murderous Size. Rampaging Beast, and he has Synaptic Barrier for powers. Alpha Beast gives him Rampaging Beast, Warlord trait, and also Swarm Commander. I'm just taking that. I figure getting the rerolls of the Hive Guard the first turn, I may play a little bit more Reserve It with him. It's hard to say. Then obviously he has the wings as well. And he has Biomorphic Carapace as well, so -1 to wound. Then Swarmlord with Catalyst, or sorry, Paroxysm and what's the other one I took? Psychic Scream, because I put Catalyst onto the Maleceptor just to ensure that that goes off, or he'll be at the back. Then we have 3 units of Warriors, 2 Bioweapon bonded ones, and then these guys are just standard. They all have Scything Talons. I'm using the weapons just because it's very easy to identify which one isn't the special. Then we have 5 Hive Guard. This was another thing with this list. Had to trim down from 6 to 5. Still think it should be okay. And Maleceptor also has Focal Essence. Then we have a Scythe here. I know this is my Barb. I'm proxying him just for this. I'm going to give this Scythe the run, see how I feel in this list. And then we have the Harridan, of course. And that makes up 2,000 points of Tyranid, starting at 9 CP.
Hello everybody, this is the Iron Hands list that I've prepared to take on Tyler's bugs. I'm running a single battalion. Iron Father Pharaohs is my Warlord. I'm running a Primaris Tech Marine and a Librarian in Phobos armor. I have 3 troops, 1 6-man of intercessors and 2 5-man intercessors, all with bolt guns. For elites, I'm running 3 Leviathans. One of them is with 2 Hunter Killer Missiles and 2 Meltos, all with Volkites. The other 2 in the back are the same, a Storm Cannon and a Grav Cannon each. And then I'm running a Daredaro Dreadnought with Volkite and the Boreas missile launcher. Then I have 2 squads of Eliminators, all with the bolt carbines, and then 1 tank, the Sakaran Arcus, with 2 las cannons, heavy bolter, and this normal missiles. And that was 2,000 points on the button for Iron Hands. And my Phobos Librarian took Reforged for its psychic power, and that is everything.
So here's the table we were playing on today. We are playing Tear Down Their Icons, and it has 5 objectives in total. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It's an angled deployment like that, so from the center line right down to the corner on both sides. It is hold 1, hold 2, as well as the mission secondary, as well, part of the primary. The secondary primary is detonation, so units can go and plant a bomb on their opponent's territory. So the way opponent's territories are divided, so half the board here would be this player's and then half would be theirs. So you have to move into your opponent's territory, perform an action, throw down a bomb, and then at the end of the game, for every bomb marker, you get 4 points for a total of 15, I believe it is. For secondaries, I went with To the Last, which will be my Harridan, the Scythe Tyranid, and Swarmlord. Then Assassinate, as well as I want to engage on all fronts, because I figured I'm going to be up there quite a bit. And again, with this deployment style, I feel engage is going to be quite handy. It's easy to get at least 2 quarters right off the bat. And then the Iron Hands went with Bring Them Down, Oaths, and Stranglehold. And so that is it. And we're going to roll off for first turn, or not first turn, for deployment, find out who's going to pick what side. It's pretty even overall. There's a few advantages for one side, and then the other also has its advantages and disadvantages. So overall, nice equal board. So we're going to go ahead and roll off here, find out who is going to pick their zone. There's a 5 for the Tyranids. to a 5 for the Iron Hands. Okay. Whoop. There we go. A 2. 5. So Iron Hands get their pick of the side. And then before we jump into that, big shout out to our patrons, Brian and Teos. Thank you so much for your support. If you want to become a patron and unlock some cool benefits, such as being a named model in the army, such as the Barbed Hero Duel proxying as the site is named Brian. We'll be doing callouts for him throughout the game as cool things happen with it, as well as getting a Patronic dice. So Brian as well, dice is available for the Tyranids and Iron Hands with a shout out when the dice is rolled at a player's choice through the match, and as well as these custom objective markers. You can hit the link in the video description, get yourself some custom objective markers from 3D6 Wargaming. So that's it for that. We'll come back after deployment. Alright folks, so we have deployed. The Iron Hands chose that side over there. I got over here. This is the side I wanted anyway, but that was also the side he wanted, so it worked out for everyone. So at my deployment, we have my Hive Guard up front, away from the terrain enough there, so we're not like looking through any windows. There is only one window anyway, but they're back. And then we've got my warriors here, 3 of them. Hive Tyrant, other group of warriors on the other side of Swarmlord there. Maleceptor tucked in to give his nice aura if I need to go off, if I decide I want it off. Warriors on this side. Harridan obviously just up front and center here on the camera so you can see him. Scythe duel with the warriors on this end. And then opposing me, we have on this end the Eliminators, Librarian, Intercessor Squad. I don't know, is it Daradio? Yes. The Daradio. I'm going to say that, hopefully it's not pronouncing it wrong. The 2 Leviathans here. Then we have I always mess up the characters, but there's one guy, is that the Pharaohs? Yeah. The Axe, I'll remember that. Then 2 other Intercessor squads there. Is it a Tech Marine or a Forge? Primaris Tech Marine. I'm going to get all the names here. And then we have another Leviathan and the Sicarian on this side. Oh, and can't forget the boys up here. Eliminators forward deploying over this way as well. So now the most important role of the game, we're going to find out who's going first in this match. So I think it's going to be a great battle. Very excited. We're both very eager. First game against each other in quite some time. So good luck. Let's see who goes. A 2 to a 3. Iron Hands get first turn. So big moment. Biggest question now. Do I pop that? So we'll come back after the Iron Hands movement and see how it looks. Folks, the movement is done. I did pop the Maleceptor strat. Looking at it, I had to just double check the profiles for the weapons. So it's essentially making everything wounding him on 5s. Except for the missiles, obviously, but I'm hoping my involvement -1 damage will come into play a little bit there to help me, as well as protecting all my other stuff. So the Sicarian also, if it shows it's to shoot at the Hive Guard, only wounding them on 4s now, so quite handy. Then over this way, so we'll talk about the movement. These guys move forward. The Librarian staying there. Leviathans and Daradio just hanging about. Everyone else just shuffling forward behind the Dreads. These guys holding strong in the back. Leviathan moving here to cover this fire lane. Not too many shots otherwise. And then the Sicarian right here backing up out of Hive Guard range because he conveniently has 48-inch range versus my 36. So my Hive Guard range ends just about there. So he just tucked away quite handily. Oh, and your Eliminators over there, are they planting a bomb? They are? Okay, so there's a bomb being planted over there. Detonation for the primary. So the annoying thing there is I have to go defuse it. I do have a squad there that can make it over to it, but it's just that I have to do it now. So that's it for movement. We're going to come back after the shooting and see if I can wither the storm. All right, folks, so turn is done. Did the Harridan live? He did, but he did a lot of damage. So I am down to 13 wounds, and I don't have Dermic Symbiosis. Again, it was the toss-up between having extra CP, keeping a Warlord trait, or putting it on there. So it's just, this is, again, a nice practice games, too, just to kind of figure everything out. But, so I am bracketed. I will still be able to hit on 3s, thankfully, with the Warriors, but tons of damage. And to be fair, I only made 1 of my 5-up invols for pretty much the entire shooting. So that did hurt, but that's, again, not something you can always plan on. But ideally, would have made a couple more of them. But Dermic Symbiosis, I think I do need that. And a Hive Guard took a wound. So whiffed on the number of shots coming from the Sakaran, which could have did a little bit of a dent on them, but did one shot went through, which did 2 damage as well. But that's it for the turn. So in terms of primary or secondaries, nothing for Stranglehold yet. 2 objectives secured though, as of right now for the Iron Hands, as well as a detonation bomb being planted. I still have a chance to counter that, but we'll see if that goes off. So we're moving into Tyranids turn 1 and see if I can return some damage here to these old Leviathans and see how it plays out. Folks, so Tyranid movement is done. So feeling a bit better. Well, I mean, I'd feel a lot better if the Harridan is at full wounds, but we're got to come back from this, so that's all right. So for synaptic links and buffs, the Hive Tyrant gave off Swarm Leader to the Hive card. Then they also got Focal Essence. Need that reroll damage, at least for the first few volleys going through. Then the Warriors are sticking back to help them out later on. These Warriors moved in advance, nice healthy 6 inches to jump right up at the edge here. Getting ready to pounce on the middle or take that as needed, sitting on the other side of the wall, or potentially throw down some bombs. Scythe moved over this way with a juicy 4-inch charge around to get to those guys. These Warriors moved up, grabbed that objective. And then the Hive Tyrant with Swarmlord got a nice 6-inch advance as well, just in range of the Tyrant right here, who can leap and successfully land in between those guys and do some damage there. So we'll come back after the Psychic and Shooting and see if I can turn it around for you, Tyranid. All right, folks, so Shooting is done. Killed the Daredeo. I rolled super bad with the Hive Guard's initial volley. It was super unfortunate. He was left alive with 5 wounds. I failed 6 of my wound rolls of the 12 that I had. Dropped him to 5. Double tapped in, finished him off quite handily. Split fire to try and take out the Leviathan. So the Harridan rolled really unfortunately and only dropped him to 1. Missed a lot of my hits, even hitting on 3 up. I missed, I think, 4 of them, which made all the difference. So he's alive with 1 wound. Split fired the Hive Guard, got the wound through, but he command pointed it, dropping you down. You're at 5 command points now. Then Hive Tyrant jumped in over here. So feeling a bit better. I got my Hive Tyrant and my Scythe duel to come in and regain some ground here, but the Harridan, that hurt. But in good news, I have my 5 up, feel no pain, and a 4 up invul on him. So feeling good about that. So we got some charges about to go down. Hive Tyrant's going to come in here, as well as the Scythe duel up at the boys at the top. So we'll come back after that. And so turn is done. Hive Tyrant is he's kicking there. He wiped out both of these guys. I used Breakthrough on the Librarian, and he lived. So I had to pile in. I was just within half an inch of both, and could split my attacks up, wipe them out, and wiped out the other guys, or wiped out the guy. And up this way, the old Scythe hero duel didn't quite pull it through, only killing 2 guys. They rolled a 6 for one of his saves. So he's still alive. It's the Sergeant. So the bomb will be planted there. And yeah, but we're locked in combat, so that's a good thing. So he can run away, but it'll be a lost point for Oaths of the moment. So that's it for the turn. So I got 2 characters down, so that is 6 points on the board. So good start to that, as well as holding a total of 3 objectives as well. So taking good ground on the table, but not killing that Leviathan. May be real sad. So we'll move into Iron Hands, turn 2. Alright, so movement is done. So the Leviathan and the squad coming around this angle. Then over this way, this Leviathan just stay put, just so that way the guy could get close to him, the repairman. And he repaired the Dreadnought up to 7 wounds. And then it was 1 CP for that, right? Yeah, so 1 CP to do it twice. And then over this way, Dreadnought moving forward with the other repairman right there. Staying in combat there, trying to stick up on the points, because right now I didn't get any for Stranglehold and only 4 for primaries thus far. But a bomb is planted in the back there, which is handy. And then Intercessor Squad is 6 over that way. Tank pivoted, and that's about it. So we'll come back after the shooting and see if my Harridan can last another round. All right, folks, so that's the end of the shooting phase. The game is swinging a little back for the Tyranids. As you can see, a big friend in the middle still there. So the Hive Tyrant did take a bit of damage. Withered quite a bit of a storm, though, from that Dreadnought, down to 7 wounds on the guy. Over this way, the Harridan lives with 6 wounds. So in saying that, though, I know he took a lot of shots coming through. It did fail a lot of wound saves. But even this turn, I passed only about 25% of my saves, although it was saves that I needed to pass on high damage stuff. But on a whole, I think I've made collectively 6-ish saves of all the shots that came into him. So he's taking an absolute punishing volley there. Over this way, the Dreadnought wiped out, absolutely massacred my warriors. He said he's shooting with Melta, so I was like, oh, I should be all right. Then it turns out it's Cyclonic Melta, which is a lot of shots, so my warriors got evaporated there. But that's the way it is. So my warriors are gone, lost that objective, unless some movement happens over there with the Scythe duel. But we got some charges going down. I believe that Leviathan's going to be going in there, and then potentially some guys over on this side as well. So we'll come back after that and tally up at the end of it. All right, so that ends the turn. The Tyrant took the guys out there. I had to spend a CP on I can't remember the name of it off the top of my head, the Crusher Stampede that -3 to morale just to make them fail. So the last guy ran off. They killed only 4 of them because of transhuman. And then over this way, the Dreadnought took 4 wounds, and my Scythe took 1 wound from that. Otherwise, that little fella's still on the tail end of the Scythe, holding him up, as well as the Dreadnought there as well. So that's it for the turn. So for points scored, nothing yet for the Iron Hands for bring it down. Lots of points sitting on the table, especially where that is a to the last, and that is a to the last up there as well. So some valuable targets sitting around. Same with this fella here, and nothing for Stranglehold yet. I don't think no. And then your other objective was Oath. So at least 2 points scored for Oath thus far, and potentially more if my monsters somehow get taken out here. But that's it. We'll move into Tyranids, turn 2. All right, so movement's done for the Tyranids. So over this way, the Hive Tyrant jumped over, left that objective. So I just scored 2 for the primaries. Losing that one really sucked over that way, but that's all right, sort of. And then the Hive Tyrant jumped up that way. The Swarmlord moved over here, getting ready to do some Psychic Screaming at that Leviathan, along with the Maleceptor getting a nice advanced roll, getting him in range to Psychic Scream, or sorry, it's not Psychic Scream, Smite him. And then over this way, these warriors advance, grabbing that objective back and going to go take care of that bomb back that way. Harridan landed, only on 6 wounds, but that's all right. He got buffed as well by Bioweapon Bond. Going to go in and hopefully take out that guy, get my characters hunting all taken care of, and then potentially fly off the board. Depending, I have 2 CP left, so I may not need the Hive Guard to double tap, but we'll see. So that's it for moving. We'll come back after the Psychic and shooting. So a Super Smite has gone off with the Maleceptor rolling a 10 and getting +1 to that for his power. He tried to deny it with the stratagem, but it didn't pass. So I'm using my Patronic power. Brian, let's see if you can work out here, help with the Tyrant. So 3, that's still okay. It's not a 1. So 3 mortals coming through. He'll have a chance to save them, but we'll come back after we finish up the Psychic and shooting. All right, so Psychic and shooting's all done. The Swarmlord absolutely went bonkers there with his Psychic powers, taking out that Leviathan. So that is all said and done. Then the Harridan fired in, and it was actually wild. Wish we had a video because it was crazy. The Sicarian fired in at him, did 21 wounds going through. He made 7 of the Feel No Pains. Needed 1 more, and he would have survived that. And those are on 6s, so it was wild seeing that go down. And then the Hive Guard shot at these guys, only killed off 2 guys, so really unfortunate rolls. Don't have my re-rolls there with the Hive Tyrant leaping forward. So not sure how I feel about that, but that's okay. When I say not sure how I feel about that, but just Hive Guard jumping forward, losing that reroll. I don't know if it's hard to say the way to do that again with this list. So we have some charges going to go down. The Tyrant's going to go in. This character, Swarmlord's going to fight them. Oh, and he double moved as well. That's why he's over there. And then the Harridan's going to jump in at the other guy over there, as well as the Eliminator killed by the Hero Duel over there. Harridan did take some wounds to itself to wound on 2s. As well, so he's down to 4, and I didn't double tap. That's the other thing I wanted to mention as well, so I can do some breakthrough stuff and potentially overrun the Harridan off. So we'll come back after that and see how. All right, so that is the end of the turn. So the Hive Tyrant came in, took out Farios. Swarmlord dropped them down to 1 guy. The Harridan killed off the Tech Marine there, and then used Overrun. That is all my CP gone, and flew off the table. And then the Barb Hero Duel hit the Dreadnought back to do 6, dropping him down to 8. And then the Hero Duel is at, he took 1 as well. So that is it for the turn. So getting just 2 for engage. I didn't get my Tyrant over into the other corner because I had to go fight that guy. And reclaiming the objective on that side as well. So 2 for engage there. To the last still stands with the Harridan flying off. So we'll move into Iron Hands, turn 3. folks. So it looks pretty grim for the Iron Hands, but we're looking at it. There's still some ways they can claw back into this with some points and put me back on the defensive. So right now, we've gone ahead with movement as all pretty quick, but that Dreadnought in there is using big guns never tire, firing in at my Sight Hero Duel. 2 Melta wounds have come through with the shots going in, and now we're going to use the Patronic Power on the Iron Hand side. So Brian, rolling the damage roll now for a Melta. So that is 6, that's respectable. So 6 damage through, and then the other one is a 1. Do you have any CP left, or no? Okay, so that is 7 damage thus far.
I do have 1.
You do have 1. Oh, right, because it's the start of your turn yet.
4.
Okay, so that is 12 damage done to him. So he is down to what?
5 wounds.
5 wounds. Yikes. Okay, so we're gonna come back here and see if he's still standing. All right, folks. So that is the end of the game. We called it there. The Iron Hands just packed up. There was just the Leviathans left. We called it the end of the Iron Hands turn. Just the Leviathan, those guys in that one. But we were talking for quite a long time. Got a little ahead of ourselves. Forgot to record the end of the game here. So I'm just quickly recapping the end of everything. So we called it the Iron Hands. Not killing that hero duel over on that side was huge, as well as not killing that Tyrant was a big deal. The Leviathan perhaps could have charged in, but either way, not taking him out and then potentially have him living, and then the amount of smites coming in with the Maleceptor, who was, I was looking at him over here, and then the Swarmlord with Psychic Scream and smite the Iron Hands had no CP left to try and deny that, and then the hero duel still gets to hit first into combat with the Dread, I think only having 6 wounds of what's left. And then the Harridan is still flying on, so it was a great matchup, really helped me prepare and fine-tune the list a little bit. Definitely a few things I think I'm going to change leading into the stream match. This will probably be posted after the matchup, I think. I'm not sure when, but very excited for it. It's the other Iron Hands player played on the channel. Fantastic player. It's going to be an excellent game, and I'm really thankful the local Iron Hands player here was willing to give this list a run and see how it was and help me fine-tune some things as it gets practice in. So we were talking, and I don't know about the Hive Guard, if we cut them or if we keep them. It's 250 points. The alternative is I could switch over and get some Raveners into the list. I don't know. Potentially I could use them. I'm going to try out another game and see how the Raveners feel with the Crusher Stampede with the Harridan, if I can have a chance to get the game in. Yeah, it was really interesting. Against Iron Hands in particular, it doesn't feel like they do as much, whereas I have the Raveners for movement. But the turn 1 helping getting those damage in, it does feel really good. But then after that, I find where I burn through CP a little quick with the Tyranids and Crusher Stampede, that their firepower kind of dies out. But overall, they're definitely still very solid in what they do. The other thing is Dermic Symbiosis. Swarm Commander or Swarm Leader on him. Not having that in the back really hurt me for their shooting as well. They didn't do as much. I missed some shots, and then getting his Synaptic Link and not hitting on 2-ups, it does hurt. So I think, and also the Harridan not having his top bracket. So Dermic Symbiosis, I feel, is a must with this. You can't always rely on getting first turn, obviously. But yeah, overall, great game. So stay tuned for lots more.